Hello and welcome to episode 42 of the Kicking Back podcast. Today I'm joined by Alex and James Dee. Oh, other way around. Alex and James Dee, also known as the Dee Brothers. How you doing, chaps?
Very well, thank you.
All good, yeah.
Delighted to be here.
It's a pleasure to have you guys here. I'm looking forward to hearing some of your delightful music later. So, for the people at home that don't know who you are, do you want to give us a little explain about who you are?
Go ahead then.
Oh, well done, well
Go
played.
on, Alex.
We're the Dee Brothers. We are from the Wirral in the UK. We are actual siblings, so we've known each other since he was born, and we make sort of dad rock music, really.
Is that that's a category you put yourself in?
I think so. I don't know if that button's available.
Is that
when you do the upload, but if it was, I think that would be the one I'd punch.
Is that like an actual, category of music, dad rock? Or is it sort of like a fake? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean. A lot of them are, though, because, there's this whole yacht rock thing.
What was yacht rock?
Yacht rock, yeah.
As in like a boat yacht?
Yeah.
Oh, right. Okay. So...
Do we need to pull this up?
I think you're a yacht rock fan.
Am I? Right, okay.
This is pretty early for a tangent, because this isn't about us.
Let's do it,
I would say our music is adjacent to yacht rock, but it's not full smooth. Is that fair?
Yeah. It's like sort of second half of the Doobie Brothers, like Michael McDonald Doobie Brothers is like full yacht rock.
Oh, okay.
Steely Dan.
Yeah.
So it's this thing of like from about 77 to about 83 in LA. So all of that smooth, adult-orientated rock music.
Yes.
But in the mid-noughties, this dude, J.D., I want to say Reisner. I think I might have got that wrong. He wrote this sort of 5-minute YouTube series called Yacht Rock, where he fictionalized all of the characters of the LA music scene. So he played Michael McDonald and Kenny Loggins, and they were all there. And did about 12 episodes of this thing that was on, I think, a precursor to Adult Swim or something like that.
Oh, right, okay.
And it was just he kind of made this thing up, and it was hosted by this fictional guy, Hollywood Steve. And I would recommend that people go and watch it. It's great. But the term's become widely used by people in their early 20s as a kind of it's pretty trendy to be into this style of stuff, and it's the name of Spotify playlists.
There are like bands now that are kind of trendy. I'd say trendy yacht rock bands. Like, is it Young and Silver Fox? You say that's a bit yachty? That's
totally it. But they're old enough to not use the term.
Right.
Oh, okay.
So the thing is, I was starting to hear in the last couple of years in a teaching scenario people talking about yacht rock like it's this canonized subgenre.
Yeah.
And it's not. It's something that a guy made up. But it stuck. There was a BBC documentary as well called Yacht Rock, which was trash.
Okay, so
it was so disappointing. It was just really poorly.
Just wasn't
it was poorly done. Yeah, but I don't like to be negative about stuff, but it was really disappointing. Like to the extent that they zoomed in on Jeff Skunk Baxter, and then said it's Walter Becker.
Oh dear.
For people that don't know who Skunk Baxter is...
He was in the original iteration of the Steely Dan band,
yes.
left Steely Dan to form the Doobie Brothers,
yes.
but crucially isn't Walter Becker. And they're the main names in this thing that was in the documentary. Paul researched, so do better. Anyway, sorry, back to us.
So you guys, you're not in the yacht rock
But we're
canon.
not there, but we love it.
Okay, right.
But dad rock...
I think it's like that sort of thing where it's all very inspired by like Eagles,
yes,
Springsteen, Van Morrison. Essentially, what people our age I feel dads had on in the car.
Yeah, man.
So it's that kind of thing where you either hate it because your dad loved it, or you like it because it reminds you of your dad.
Yeah, and I think also it's like a defense mechanism as well, so that if people go, this music's really dated,
you can automatically say...
We can sort of say, we know.
It's dad rock.
Yeah.
It's cool.
And it's also timeless, which is good because it takes us a long time to do anything.
Yeah.
So how long have you been doing the Dee Brothers thing for then?
Well, I'd say the first iteration of it was Alex Dee and the Deputies.
Whoa, what a
Oh,
name.
yeah, okay, we're going right.
Let's go back, man.
Which is when Alex was 18, I was 16.
Right.
And we did a few gigs around the Wirral in pretty ropey pubs.
Right.
But we went out under that name, and we made like an EP and everything, which I've not heard for years.
Is it out there, or is it?
No. It kind of predates any of that.
But it was us and a friend of ours called Danny Griffiths on drums. Yeah, and we just used to do that, and then.
Well, we did that thing that you do when you're like 18, and we hammer acoustic guitar and bass and really play the hell out of the drums and play really fast and loud and loads of energy, and it'd go really well in pubs and bars. So I went, right, well, that's our sound. We'll just record that. And I guess because we were 18 as well, like, sounds great. I don't know why we're not famous, but obviously it didn't.
Yeah.
Also, I believe on that EP there's some like slap bass through a line 6. Which is pretty, which is just absolutely horrendous.
That's a big no. That's a big no.
But at the time, it was everything. It was just like this is my sound on my Warwick double book Corvette.
Yeah, I feel that. There is something about like because I've listened to some stuff that I did when I was like 18, like just like a little few tracks that we did in a band. And it's so fucking bad, man. Honestly, it's like the worst sounding thing. I remember at the time being like, "This is all right, man." You know.
I think that's what you've got to remember is the enthusiasm that you had.
Yeah.
Because that's what drives you through to then get good.
Yeah, it's true.
The thing that makes that tricky is that when there are people out there who are like 18 and 19 and are making records that sound amazing.
Yeah.
But that's not a fair comparison because most people in their teens and early 20s and even mid 20s, if they're left to their own devices. It's hard to learn how to do all those things, right? And I'm not pretending that I've got it down either.
No. It takes
quite good
time.
at talking about other people's stuff, but I like to distance myself from it. I'm not saying anything I've done is.
So I'll just say, so like Alex Dee, it was Alex Dee and the Deputies, and it became just the Deputies.
Right. Okay.
And then after that, and then basically after that, I sort of we went to uni, and we kind of diverged a bit.
Yeah, definitely.
And then it wasn't until sort of in our mid-20s we'd sort of like come back and we realised that we were still all into the same kind of music.
Okay.
And so just kind of started writing again.
Yeah, I guess what it was we went to music colleges with quite different emphases. So I studied jazz and you studied at Goldsmiths where the emphasis was more like art and original creativity, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And the music that we were into seemed like it was a long way away from each other.
Yeah.
And I guess as well, again, that's like a younger person's thing, is that we have to have everything in common or we can't be in a band together.
Yeah, okay.
And to be fair, you were in some really cool bands while you were there as well.
Yeah. But I think it was doing that we both sessioned for an artist called Jamie and Commons, which was really kind of bluesy and sort of rootsy. And I think it was coming back and we did like a few. Well, I was the bassist in the band.
You were properly in the band.
I was in the band, and then Alex came in and did a few gigs playing sax.
Right.
And I think it was doing that we sort of realised that, actually, we both like all these records that we didn't know that we both liked. And I think that was the impetus for then starting to write our own stuff.
Interesting.
Which is basically, apart from Springsteen, like our dad's
record.
Well, our mum and dad's, but the things that were in the CD box at home.
Yeah.
That were dad's record collection that we sort of as teenagers had gone. I think we both used to do the same thing. Go, Dad, have you heard this Steely Dan thing? It's really cool. He's like, well, I mean, it is mine. And then I stole them all and went to university. But yeah, I guess that was pretty formative. That
it was that sort of doing those gigs was a bit like,
because that was an amazing gig, wasn't it? You toured across America.
So who's the artist that you were both touring?
It was called Jamie and Commons.
He still is.
He still is.
He's still around.
I toured with him quite a bit, and Alex did the odd gig.
I just did 2, but they were probably the biggest ones because it was like when you had budget for for a horn section.
Or just wanted the gig to be bigger.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
We'll just drop it. One of them was supporting Springsteen.
Ooh,
yeah,
I'm just gonna. Did you meet the man himself?
Oh no, he turns up like 10 minutes before the gig.
Sounds about right.
Gets on the bus straight away home. I mean, he's on stage for 3.5 hours. Fair play to him. But...
And he's getting on.
It's kind of presidential levels of security as well.
Oh yeah.
So in the backstage area a weird thing happens where everyone is sort of quietly ushered out of certain areas, really politely, but really forcibly by these kind of dudes that are clearly ex-military. And then the boss comes through.
Nice.
And goes straight to stage. But
I start to think how military that was. Now that he's like on like a book tour with Obama.
Is he?
Yeah, they've written a book together, haven't they?
What?
So they've got a podcast on Spotify.
Right, pull that up. Someone pull that. People at the back. What we're playing? Obama Bruce
Springsteen podcast. Yeah.
Holy fuck.
It's called Renegades, I believe. Or that's the name of the book, I think.
All right.
What's the book about then? But I mean,
I don't know.
This is news to me.
It's literally just. It's kind of cool. It's just those two talking about stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, there's one where they talk about adversity, and I feel Barack Obama's adversity was slightly different to Springsteen's. Was that he had long hair when he was a teenager, and him and his dad didn't get on. I'm just like, yeah, that sounds kind of bad, but I think Obama had it a bit worse, mate.
Worse than you, man.
bit worse.
Yeah.
But
read the room, Bruce.
But,
yeah, holy fuck.
but still, I was just. He says it with such earnest that I was like, oh my god, Springsteen really had it tough. And then I thought about it a bit later. I was like, probably not as tough as Obama, but
yeah. That's hilarious.
But it was a really cool experience that we had doing that, and as well, I've got to be honest because I've been a real sort of Springsteen acolyte since. James had like about 6 months before that had been like, look, I'm really into Springsteen. I really think that you should check the album. And obviously I was aware of the main hits.
Yeah.
But James was like, you really need to listen to this because we both love Billy Joel. And he was like, look, it's going to give you the same kick. It's like the same sort of era and it's got a real vibe. And for me as well, I think a lot of what I was into when I was a bit younger was all super clean. Like, probably still my favourite band is Earth, Wind and Fire.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's a different sort of musical vision. Springsteen's stuff in the 70s is pretty raucous and it's pretty kind of messy.
Yeah.
But that's like why it's...
Well, I think it was also that sort of thing of like, I say with most people with Springsteen, I think they know the Born in the USA stuff.
Yeah.
And they think of it as all just sort of synthy, like...
Yeah, the 80s.
Murica! And but like his first two albums are almost like slightly more energetic, more literate Dylan.
Oh, really? See, right, I've not really explored the boss that much. I'm probably as educated as you were at this point.
Well, his first album, Greetings from Asbury Park, when he first came out, it was that sort of like thing in 73. It was like, here's the next Dylan.
Right, okay.
Kind of thing. And then second album, which is called The Good, the Wild and the E Street Shuffle, is along a similar line, but then third album's Born to Run,
right,
where it's like the formation of what is the E Street Band is on that record, and sort of him and Clarence, Steve Van Zandt, and all the other guys.
If you don't know his stuff, what would be a really awesome thing to do is to read his autobiography. Okay. Because it's pretty chronological. Well, I mean, obviously, most of them are, but he goes into a lot of detail about making the albums and the decisions. So if you kind of read the chapter about the album and then had listened to it, that would be a really cool.
Yeah, I did that with
off.
Tom Waits's. Well, it wasn't his autobiography. I'd written it. I did that. I was on holiday. I just put the album on, read the chapters, and then it's a great way of doing it.
Sometimes when people got a huge back catalogue as well, it's difficult to make sense of it when you listen to a greatest hits. It makes sense in of itself, but if you're trying to get into it, so James had said to me, "Listen to this stuff," and I did, and I was like, "It's great. I can see what you're getting at." And then a couple of months later, it was like, weirdest thing, we might be opening for Springsteen. Jamie's quite big in Holland, and it was on a Saturday. Normally Springsteen doesn't have the support because he plays for forever.
Yeah.
But on a Saturday, they were like, well, it's an outdoor gig. We've got the Black Crowes, but they needed an opening act.
Okay.
And they wanted someone up and coming. So it was a really good booking, actually. It was really appropriate. And then, because they wanted a horn section, I ended up getting in on the gig as well. So about 6 months after seriously getting into this stuff, I had the opportunity to go and watch in like the special circle.
Yeah.
And it was a honestly life-changing experience. And it's kind of a cliche that going to see Springsteen for the first time is like this amazing experience, but that's because it is.
But I think what was also cool, we'd already bought tickets for the tour, hadn't we?
That's right, yeah.
We were going to the tour anyway, but later on we'd bought tickets to go to Cork in Ireland.
Right.
Because, well, we love Cork, because back with the first band we were talking about, we'd done the jazz festival. I say the jazz festival.
I mean, yeah.
While the jazz festival was on, we played in a hotel at about midnight to 2:00 for a couple of years. But so we thought, we'll go to Cork, and it was on our dad's birthday. So Cork, a city we love, dad's birthday, Springsteen, this will be great. But then when we got that, it was great. It was great to see him like twice on one tour.
Yeah.
Also, because on that first gig, on that tour, he had a habit of he was playing certain albums in full.
Oh, shit! Right, okay.
And he played "Darkness on the Edge of Town" in full, which is my favourite Springsteen album. And I don't think. Oh no, it was "The River" that I just like cried into your ear the whole song.
Well, I think we've been together the 3 times that we've been, haven't we?
He's done "The River" twice, and I think I've done
I've done
it twice.
There's always lots of tears, different kinds.
Oh.
But yeah.
How did we go on to the topic? Oh, right, we're talking about the Dee Brothers.
It was inevitable we were going to talk about Springsteen because we are essentially, I guess we kind of complement the war on drugs as being a Springsteen kind of. I don't want to call them a rip-off. That's not fair.
No, yeah,
we are though.
But it's all.
I like how honest you're being.
Oh
about
yeah,
that.
there's a particular track on our album which is just there are like lines, not lyrically, but just like my vocal delivery and some of it is just completely lifted from Springsteen records.
Well, that's fine, man. Taking that sweet inspiration.
But he is like,
well, no, and that's kind of why the music that we make as the Dee Brothers is sort of the cross section of the Venn diagram of the things that we're into.
Yeah, of course.
But the thing that's I think once we got onto this anyway, that makes it so much fun, is that I find it much more fun than when I've tried to do my own thing.
Right. Okay.
Because I feel disproportionately less responsible. Not that he is, but it's like, it's not me. As such.
It's shared, isn't it? Yeah.
And it's we kind of for the album that we've got out. It's available to Sprees.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah, available to stream on Spotify.
Wow.
If you'd like a vinyl, you'll have to text us.
Have you got vinyls?
We've got vinyls, but we have nowhere to buy it online.
We have. So this is. No. We have the vinyls.
You must have a Bandcamp or something.
You see, this is the thing, right? So we kind of rushed to finish. Yeah, it took us a long time to make the album. It was self-produced in the sense of, sort of, in the old school sense of produced. We kind of did it to a fairly decent standard, but just on our own, working with other people in studios and things. So it took us quite a while to do that in amongst all of the other things that we're doing, work and life and things like that. And my wife was about to have our first child at the start of 2020. So I was like, if I don't finish and get the album out before then,
it's not going to come out.
It's just not. It's not going to come out.
Okay. Yeah.
So it was kind of like a case study in how not to promote music as an independent artist. Because we did a classic thing of we made an album that I really like. I'm really into it. I think it's good.
Yeah.
Which is relieving because it was based on all of the music that we like. So that it's not. It doesn't feel like an arrogant thing to say that. It's like we should have liked it. So it's just a relief.
Yeah. That it turned out how you wanted it. Yeah.
And also because it's got some of our best mates on it, and we recorded it a lot. We recorded a lot of it with our friend Steve Parry at his place.
Cool.
Who, if you don't know him, he's an incredible multi-instrumentalist and producer.
Right. Okay.
And it always brings so much of his personality to your project. He's just sort of really generous in that respect. And we also worked a lot with a guy called Mark Lewis, who is a producer. You know Mark?
I know Mark very well. Yes.
Mark and his partner in crime Tom have both been nominated for Musician of the Year for I think it's the UK Americana Awards.
No way.
This week.
Oh yeah, I did say that.
Amazing.
Yeah. And Lauren Housley's been nominated for I think Breakthrough Artist, one of her Song of the Year.
Right.
Cool.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Nice to see a bit of recognition going their way.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. But I like
Go Manchester.
working with Steve.
Well, they're sort of Sheffield, but let's claim him for Manchester.
I
did quite like it though, actually. The difference between working with Steve and Mark, it was slightly different. Steve had a very kind of, I don't mean this in a bad way, but a kind of like that'll do sort of attitude when you're recording, but not in a like a
in a creative way. Steve's approach to recording is have loads of amazing gear,
right? Okay.
And have a really open mind about how it's going to go on that day. Which isn't to say that Mark doesn't. It's just,
but it wasn't like, you know, it wasn't like finding takes or doing loads of takes to find like the one kind of sort of thing. It was like, yeah, cool.
Yeah.
But then he will be meticulous at certain times, and it's just a kind of, I think with both those scenarios, it's like there's two of us and we tend to bicker. So it's useful to have a third voice in the room. Yeah,
that just sort of has the...
Not necessarily to referee, but if we both trust. Just to kind of go,
that'll do. That's
okay.
Fine.
Yeah. You know, for instance, when... I don't know, it's sometimes, you know, like you're doing the lead vocal take on a record. That can feel quite stressful if you're the person doing it, because there's a lot of responsibility on that particular take.
Yeah.
And I don't know if your brother's there on the other side of the glass going, no, that was flat. Like that's a really bad way. And also, I think we've learned from experiences where we've done that to each other. You learn from experience that is not the way to do it.
Yeah.
So if you've got someone else there to kind of go again, or no, you've got it. It really helps, I think. Right?
Yeah, totally.
Definitely. I think there's a big thing about like what you're just saying about like him sort of saying like this is what it is on the day. Like I think as musicians we all put pressure on ourselves to like we sort of wow, you're getting the A-star treatment here, man. We all put like pressure on ourselves to like be like, right, this is what this thing is going to be. Like I visualize it and hear it in this certain way. But the reality is like, when does it ever actually turn out in the way that you think it would be? Do you know what I mean? In terms of like do you know what I mean? When you start something, you're like, it's going to be this.
Yeah.
There's that kind of thing as well where if you're like most people who are creative or have like probably high levels of insecurity to a certain level. So you hear every single thing wrong of what you've done, especially vocals, man. I just like hearing my own vocal back. This is why actually working with Mark and Steve, because they've got good gear and because somebody else has mixed it. I think for some reason there's part of my brain which goes, well, yeah, that sounds good because they're good at what they do. If I ever mix my own vocal, I'm like, oh God, I sound like a dying horse or something like that. You know, I'm just like, oh, it sounds so strained, or what's wrong with me? Why do I say that in that weird way? Oh God.
I think also because particularly for this first album that we've done, well, it's the only one at the moment, but we've written another album. We're just in the process of trying to work out how many years it needs to take us to get that one finished. But we had some quite clear parameters of what we wanted to include on it to give it a sort of sense of not necessarily era, but I suppose it is kind of era, but just a sense of wholeness.
It was that kind of thing, like certain restraints, to sort of streamline it, if that makes sense.
There
was it was kind of like, I think one of the words that we used at the time was organic. So basically just no synthesizers.
Okay.
Was kind of the sort of thing. So everything has to be like organ, piano, Rhodes, Whirly.
But it occurs
guitars.
to me quite a lot of what we're referencing with the recording process is quite old fashioned.
Yeah.
You know, the majority of writers and producers would actually probably do 80 or 90% of their own work themselves.
Yeah.
You know, in their setup. Whereas we're talking about actually having a microphone in front of everything that is going into the record.
Cool.
Which is pretty old fashioned, isn't it? So we are bringing it right up to date today, though.
Yeah.
Oh well, I know you've got your 808 over there. That's very modern.
Oh man, we've hit the 80s.
You've got ahead a whole 10 years, guys. Well done.
Oh yeah.
I'm looking forward to it.
It's exciting.
It is exciting, man. So the tracks you're going to be playing for us today, are these all tracks off the first album?
So 2 of them are tracks from the first album.
Cool.
And one is from a forthcoming release.
Yeah.
Ooh.
But yeah, but one of them, like the first one we're going to do, I'd say was that kind of one of the first ones we kind of got together and did?
Yeah. And we tend to play that. It's a good opener. It's the opener of the record. It's sort of a bit of...
Yeah, it was kind of a... Yeah, that was the one.
Mission statement sounds a bit grand, doesn't it? But it's kind of
It
we
is.
both sing together.
Yeah, it's like two vocals.
It's bold. It is a statement, that tune. You know, it has a bit of like, you know,
Yeah.
panache.
Right.
To it.
Oh,
Yeah, I get
thanks,
that,
man.
man. Yeah.
It's only got 2 chords.
That's all it needs.
2.5.
2.5. No, yeah, I was just. I do remember actually when we did that, because we sort of had the idea for the tune, and then we sort of and I was like, yeah, that's enough. And then I remember that being like, after we'd got that one done and we'd sort of made a demo, we kind of went, oh, great. I think we often had the thing to write too many sections for a song.
Yeah, classic.
And then we realised that
Oh, definitely.
lots of different sections. Then we realised that, oh no, we can just do it. Yeah, we can do the same 2 chords 3 times and it'll sound banging.
It's not all just like that, but I think we were both coming from maybe too far apart in terms of James taught me to trust sort of simplicity and hear the sound of the instruments. It's like you don't need to have dense chord voicings all the time because just guitars sound cool.
Mm-hmm.
The drum groove is going to sound cool. That's the thing most people are going to be listening to. It's not about clever voicings all the time.
But then it's nice to add those bits in every now and again for like, because it gives the ear a little like, oh, hello.
Yeah, we'd find little spaces where we kind of complement one another, because it's not like we don't do that like kitchen table thing of sitting together with a blank piece of paper.
Okay, right.
Generally speaking, one of us writes the song,
And then you come and then...
it's kind of 90% there.
Right, okay.
Been a couple of things where you've maybe written a chorus instead of kind of.
Well,
that's fun.
Yeah, that was, well, Without the Light, the title track was, I had the chorus and I was just like, I've got this chorus. I think it's cool. And then we just ended up. Yeah. And then you just wrote the verse, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. And it just sounds, and that was a cool way of doing it. And then we just put in about 4 key changes.
Yeah.
It's the same section in about 4 different keys.
Guys, you're giving away all your secrets here, you know.
But the thing is, they're not ours.
No,
so
we lifted that off a Springsteen.
It's the Hungry Heart move.
The Hungry Heart move.
Oh, right.
Same
okay.
chord sequence, just a
Do a minor third.
higher.
Okay, classic
Come back.
minor third. Yeah.
And then go again.
Right, yeah.
But,
yeah.
But
It's a
just
classic.
tone.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, but yeah, it was. But yeah, no, yeah, it was. I'm trying to think, what else? What did we do when we wrote it? It's been so long, because some of these tunes that we had on that first album, I think there's definitely one I wrote when I was about 22.
Oh, right, okay.
Like, or I've had it
considerably older than that.
When I think about the sort of genesis of that song's like 10 years ago. Mainly because
2 years of that's COVID.
Yeah, 2 years doesn't
We've got to give
count.
ourselves a little break.
Yeah, come on, guys. Let's be nice to ourselves.
Also, the impetus for that
We've been
song.
prolific in other ways. I don't know what. Yeah.
Right, well, you know what, boys? Let's hear some of this music. So you guys want to
Cool.
make your way over to the performance area,
Cool.
and we will see your stuff shortly. Hello, everyone at home. I hope you're enjoying that delightful chat. So I've got some things I need to tell you about. So next week, we're going to be doing things a little bit differently to what we normally do. So instead of having just the one podcast, we're actually doing a mental health podcast week special thing. So we're going to be doing 3 different podcasts, speaking to 3 different mental health specialists. That's going to be on the Tuesday, the Thursday, and the Saturday. So I'm just going to run you through what we've got going on there. So on the Tuesday, we have Rafaela Nunes, who is a counsellor and therapist in Manchester. She works with local creatives dealing with those mental health problems. And we're going to pair that with the wonderful John Haycock, who's, if you haven't checked him out online, please go and do. He's got it's a Cora, I think it's called. It's a beautiful sound instrument, puts it through loads of effects pedals and things. Delightful. Thursday, we have Dr. Kelly Savory, who is a trauma therapist. We had a right bloody laugh with her. We did some EMDR therapy. If you haven't heard of that, it's like fucking magic shit, man. Let me tell you. We also did some other things. Hilarious. So check that on Thursday. And we paired that with Rachel Jean Harris, who is a Liverpool-based artist. She's been putting out stuff for ages. Me and James have done work with her before. She's very, very talented. So please keep an eye out for that. On Saturday, and finally, our third one, we have Ruth Russellson from Manchester Mind. Manchester Mind are a mental health charity. They've got different branches of them. So there's a Stockport one, there's Salford one. They're very, very good at putting on mindfulness classes, all sorts of different things. So we had Ruth in. We've gone over some different mindfulness techniques. What is mindfulness? What is meditation? All this stuff is kind of based really to help you people at home, our audience. I know a lot of you are creative people, and you know, I find this stuff really interesting. I'm well into all this sort of thing, and I hope that you guys find it interesting too. That final one, we've also got Neota, who are awesome. There's just like wild electric music, delightfulness. So that's what we've got going on next week. So it's going to be a jam-packed week of stuff. So if you want to check it out, we're going to be putting them out on YouTube Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. They're going to be out on all good podcasting apps. Our live sessions are going to be going out on every other day. So that would be the Wednesday, the Friday, and the Sunday, I think. Yeah, so that's what we've got going on next week. So please subscribe to us on YouTube, follow us on your podcasting apps, and you'll get all this wonderful content coming your way. For now, before we go over to the boys in the performance space, we're going to play a little clip from these guys that they did with Mark Lewis, funnily enough, the guy that we were talking about. So enjoy this little bit of live session, get a minute or two of it, and then we're going to go live into the studio to the two chaps over there. So we will see you shortly.
Hey folks, if you're enjoying that, you're probably going to like this one. We're the Dee Brothers, and this is a tune called High Road. 1, 2, 3. I take the high road, darling, and up below. Got that wondering feeling. Wanna be free again. I wanna be free again. I wanna be free again. I give it all to you, darling. I got
take the high road, darling, but end up below, down again. I got that wandering feeling. I wanna be free again. 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 I wanna be free again.
All right. Thank you, studio audience. Got that? Hang on. Attached to my shoelace. This next tune is another one from our first album, Without the Light. This is called Can You Not Tell? 1, 2, 3, 4. There's a reason I don't say a lot. You can't lose a thing you haven't got. But I think by now it's pretty clear what it is that's being unsaid here. Can you not tell that you're the only one I wanna love? Can you not tell that you're the only one I'm thinking of? Can you not tell that you're the only one I wanna love? Can you not tell, can you not tell, can you not tell? There's a reason I internalize omitting truths, ain't telling lies. But I think by now you've some idea of the truths being omitted here. Can you not tell that you're the only one I wanna love? Can you not tell that you're the only one I'm thinking of? Can you not tell that you're the only one I wanna love? Can you not tell, can you not tell, can you not tell? Can you not tell that you're the only one I wanna love? Can you not tell that you're the only one I'm thinking of? Can you not tell that you're the only one I wanna love? Can you not tell, can you not tell, can you not tell? Thank you. All right, this third and final tune we're going to play for you is a new one. It's called Where Did You Go?
got lost off the highway, a little way back, where the roads turn to dust, where the roads turn to dust. We got lost in our own way when we fell off the track, and our wheels turned to rust. Said our wheels turned to rust. Where did you go? 'Cause I started running. Tell me, where did you go? 'Cause I started running, 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 running. Where did you go? 'Cause I started running. Tell me, where did you go? 'Cause I started running, 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 running. The night is approaching. We've lost the sun. We don't know what's to come. We don't know what's to come. But you're running too fast now, running for home. But you don't wanna be alone. You don't wanna be alone. Where did you go? 'Cause I started running. Tell me, where did you go? 'Cause I started running, 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 running. Where did you go? 'Cause I started running. Tell me, where did you go? 'Cause I started running, 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 running. Baby, I don't know what you've been running from lately, but I know it won't be far. Baby, I don't know what you've been running from lately, but I won't be far behind. So where did you go? 'Cause I'll start running. Tell me, where did you go? 'Cause I'll start running, 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 running. Where did you go? 'Cause I'll start running. Tell me, where did you go? 'Cause I'll start running. Where did you go? 'Cause I'll start running. Tell me, where did you go? 'Cause I'll start running, 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 running. Where did you go? 'Cause I'll start running. Tell me, where did you go? 'Cause I'll start running, 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 running.
So you can find our album Without the Light on Spotify, and yeah, give me a call. We've got some vinyl in the shed as well.
Are we the Dee Bros? The Dee Brothers on Instagram.
Yeah, the Dee Brothers on Instagram.
The Dee Brothers on Instagram.
DEE.
If you slide into our DMs,
You would be the first.
you'd be the first. And if you want to buy
If
your
you're
dad
the
a vinyl,
first one to slide into our DMs, gets a CD. Vinyl.
no vinyl.
Sod it.
Go on, vinyl. Yeah.
We're not posting it though.
Hello, 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 and welcome to the Kicking Back Podcast. Enjoying what you see so far? Make sure you head over to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/recrooms, and hit that subscribe and bell button. We're putting out new live sessions and podcasts every week for you to discover new artists. If you're out and about, you can also subscribe and listen to all our podcasts in all good podcasting places. We've just opened our brand new merch store over at etsy.com. You can buy yourself some delightful Kicking Back Podcast t-shirts, jumpers, mugs, stickers, and much more. We're going to be keeping this store up to date with new merch all the time, so head on down to etsy.com/shop/recrooms to get yourself some sweet new threads. Anyway, that's enough from me. Time to get on with the show. See you in a sec. Hello and welcome back to episode 42 of the Kicking Back Podcast. You've just heard some kick-ass music from our guests today, the Dee Brothers. Well done, chaps. Sounded delightful. That last tune is a fucking bop, man. It's a bop. Isn't it? I like that.
We said before, some of them are, it evens out, but that was one James kind of, came up with.
It's out,
much all of that. It's great.
Yeah. I mean, the other two were great as well, but that one just really, it stuck out, man.
I think we all know what it was, and it was our foray into the modern world.
The 808.
The TR8, or whatever I've forgotten what it's called. It's RD8.
Do you know what it is? It's completely by accident we're converging with trendy people like Sam Fender.
It's true, because he's all about that life, isn't he?
He is, yeah. Specifically, I think, the 80s thing. I'm not saying I think he likes it all, but I mean...
It is making a bit of a resurgence, isn't it?
Yeah, what I think... It's like really obviously a Springsteen influence, sonically.
Yeah.
But what he's got that makes it so great, I think, is a really unique voice.
He's so good.
Unique voice, but also, voice. Actually saying something.
I forget what his most recent album is called, but I really like it.
Yeah.
It's class, isn't it?
He's a talented boy.
17 Going Under, is that what it's called?
Yeah.
The title track of it, I was on the radio the other day and I was just like, oh, this is...
Yeah, it's that rare thing of like filling stadiums and also it's badass.
And like you're saying, like the messages behind the songs as well are really, like, I don't know, they're on point. Do you know what I mean? It's just like,
just the fact that a pop star, has the balls to actually say something.
Yeah, exactly, man. Yeah, he's a cool chap.
Beyond just, I know some of it's sort of confessional and stuff about his family, but I think that's again in the Springsteen mold of it's authentic because
it's genuine.
I think so.
Yeah, I'd agree, man. I'd agree.
But there's some clever stuff on there as well.
Yeah,
like with the way that they used the old and the new.
Yeah, I agree, man. I agree. So take us through the tracks that you performed for us, chaps. What they're about, how they came to be, all that sort of stuff.
I think we chatted about High Road before.
Yeah.
We did, yeah.
So, Can You Not Tell was another with the early ones, I think.
Can You Not Tell is another one we were saying before, like that was one that Alex very much brought to the table.
Okay, right.
And then...
Yeah, so I think what I was thinking of there was a kind of a Fleetwood Mac sort of thing.
Okay, yeah, I can
in the
I
chorus.
Can hear a bit of that. Yeah.
And just at that time, I was going through a thing where I could only write things in 3. Like every time I came to a chorus,
it had to be 3.
I couldn't come up with something that I thought was compelling enough that was in a 2, like an A and a B.
Yeah.
Or just you've really smashed it when you've got a just one thing that can repeat. But for some reason, it was all in 3. So. I don't know if that makes any sense, but the phrase was in groups of 3.
Yeah.
Not like metrically, but just lines. I think that was about it. Oh, right. Can you not? And then, as I say that, I realised there is a 4th, but I think I struggled with how to make the 4th work. Anyway, that's fascinating. That's how my mind doesn't
work.
Your
mind... Right,
we don't even follow our own rules.
So, like, when you're like approaching writing that song, are you like, I guess when you're like approaching writing it, are you sort of thinking, right, I want to kind of pull on a bit of this, and like in terms of like lyrically and stuff as well? Is
I
suppose.
Well? I suppose no. So I guess that's probably where sound-wise it's really easy to go, oh right, well I've been really into this particular album this week, so we can make it sound like that by layering the guitars in this way, and we'll use chords from this kind of this key and this related key, and that'll make it do that.
Yeah.
And then the lyrics are a different thing, right? And a lot of people who are writers are really good at mining their own feelings and life, and I'm just no good at that.
Fair.
But what I will do is think, what do I want to write a song about, or what do I think is a song topic that is compelling?
Right, yeah.
And I was trying to think about ways of writing a love song that weren't too saccharine. And it's a thing that I've trotted out for ages to students, is that, and I'm not saying I've done it, but really good love songs say a really obvious thing in a way that no one else has said before. So I was trying to come up with basically a way of saying I love you without saying I love you.
Yeah.
So I thought that kind of rhetorical question thing would be an interesting device.
Yeah, I think it works, man. What about you, James? In terms of like your approach to writing things, are you like, would you go with a similar sort of vein, or do you draw more personally?
I'm very much like, it's very much like spur of the moment.
Okay, yeah.
Like, I say I just wait for inspiration to hit me, but not like I'm there sitting waiting for it. It's just more of a kind of,
when's it happening next?
just more of a kind of or I'll be
I'm sorry, I didn't mean.
I don't know. I used to, you know what? A lot of the songs on the album, the idea to the song came to me after about like 6 to 8 pints on the way home.
Interesting.
And
okay,
I've definitely, like that. Where did you go? That's 100%. That was a drunk one. Soul Surrender, a track on our album, is basically, that's a song about being drunk and just feeling like a bit of a low life piece of shit. Because it's like a Tuesday night and you're like, what the fuck am I doing?
Right, yeah.
And the whole thing, but it was like coming up with your soul surrendering to the night. It was a poetic way of saying, I'm pissed.
I think you're really great though at, you sort of pluck an idea.
Okay.
So sometimes you'll have lyrics that are sort of placeholders or word. You're a word painter.
Okay. Yeah.
I think that's fair.
Oh yeah, 100%.
It's like, because quite often it's like, what does that mean? Oh. but it does mean, but it means something because of the way that it all sounds and fits together.
Oh yeah, totally. But then like that, where did you go? Trying to think. Yeah, there's. Yeah. Sort of quite a lot of the album comes from, like what we wrote for this first album was written at a time when I sort of like lived in London and I was really skint.
Okay,
and
right.
It was kind of, I had a lot of fun in those times, but you kind of look back and you realise, oh God, I sort of try to remember the fun, but the fun was pretty much just to kind of chase away the darkness. Not to be too like.
It's okay. This is a safe space, James.
No, just in a bit like yeah.
I know what you mean.
The London Lit viewers have just.
But that was yeah. It wasn't to do with living in London. It's not to do with any of the people because I'm still really good friends with all the people I was friends with back then. It was just that kind of thing where in hindsight, you look back on it. And you go, oh, holy shit! I was depressed, man. like, and quite a lot of the songs are also, because even though they're all sort of happy sounding songs, quite a few of them, it's like they come from not from really dark places, but they come from a not positive place.
I get
and
that,
I think
yeah.
Right, in future, you need to answer that question first.
Okay.
Because I want to listen to that album. I didn't want to listen to the one that I was describing.
But then again, sometimes there's just a tune like High Road, which was just a nice catchy tune. I came up with, and I was like, oh, this sounds pretty cool. And then pretty much went, oh, Alex, can you write a second verse? And he did.
And that was that.
That's where me being a hack is useful.
And then
because he is often inspired.
Yeah.
And I'm quite good at going, oh, right, okay, well, I don't know. Yeah, completing and filling in the blanks.
Yeah, that's definitely happened on a few tunes as well, where I think I've had an idea for a song, but then you've kind of pieced it together, and I think it's a good like working relationship in terms of that, because you've kind of got that.
It's definitely better than the thing we tried when we were a bit younger, which was like, let's write a song, let's sit together, and then about half an hour later.
Also, I think like there's definitely in the studio, I could get carried away with something. You're very good at being the person who's like, let's move on because we need to do this next, which definitely we need. Otherwise, I'd spend ages like trying to get the right delay on something for about like 20 minutes. And
which there's nothing wrong with. We just need.
But then you lose the.
We need a major label budget, basically.
Yeah, I need a major label budget for what I want to do.
And I'd take it.
Oh yeah, totally. We totally we'd take it. But you know, it's just
if you're watching the music industry.
So we always say they might be in tonight, lads.
Yeah.
Some podcast feedback. Sorry.
Go on. No. Go on.
When we were doing the changeover, I could see the VT that you're running.
Oh yeah.
Of all the previous guests.
Yes.
It's quite intimidating for current guests.
Oh really?
Yeah.
I thought it'd be inspiring.
Well, it's inspiring, but also intimidating.
So what's intimidating about it? That's interesting.
Well, just the quality and how beautiful. Well, no, I wasn't digging for compliments. It just occurred to me. I wanted to mention it.
Oh, right.
Was it episode 42?
This is episode 42. By the end of the year, we'll have done 50 episodes. So
that's such an incredible achievement. That's so cool.
One year, we'll have done 50 episodes. So almost one every week. Almost.
It's such an undertaking. It's amazing.
Yes, it is. I love it, though. I mean, like, you know, it's so great to just, like, chat to people like this every week. And, you know, I don't know. I'm not a particularly talkative person, I wouldn't say. But in this context, I'm a good listener. So
we haven't given you much of an opportunity, really.
No, that's fine. But I love
Do you know about Bruce Springsteen? So, what was your question?
What was my question? I don't know how it's gone now.
We can pad it with some Springsteen chat.
Yeah, let's talk some more Springsteen. What was I going to ask you? I can't remember. Well, let's talk about, so this new album.
Yeah.
It's all written, is it?
We've got material for an album. I think the thing that we're just...
Well, when we did... like one of the 2 gigs that I think we've done publicly, 2 or 3 we've done publicly, which was our album launch. We ended up, I think did we play 3 or 4 tracks that weren't on the album?
Oh, right, okay.
And then since then there's been other ones and there's demos, and I think there might even be stuff that we didn't use for the first one.
Right, okay.
But we've been like, we can rework that one.
I think
the other thing, sort of wiser album head.
Yeah, the other thing is that you learn an awful lot doing that first thing.
Yes.
And it's just kind of going, all right, how can we be a bit smarter with time and with what we can do? And in the interim, James has been doing a lot of production, so I don't know that we'll necessarily entirely self-produce, but it means we can kind of do more of it ourselves. What we were doing before was that we had demos, and then we'd go into the studio and build the song from the ground up again.
Right, yeah.
Whereas I think what we can do this time is swap out the things that we really need.
Okay, yeah.
Also, one thing I'd sort of say, we did always do, I think, in the studio, which I quite enjoyed, we always had quite a strong idea. Like, we'd have quite a long conversation about going in to do a particular tune.
Right.
About what we wanted each part to do, so you can kind of sort of set it out, like...
You can, like, map it out a little bit.
And I think, actually, that's a lot easier when we gave ourselves the sort of... Not... Oh, sorry, I'm trying to think of the word here. When we gave ourselves the kind of, I said before, like I said, we weren't going to use synthesizers. It was all sort of organic sounding. When you have that, you know that everything that you record has to be like a part recorded by something.
Yes.
So it was quite good to think. We always kind of went in with a strong idea of what we wanted each part to do.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
And that was always chatted about. When I think if we make another one and we've got a bit more time, because we'll be doing it in like each other's houses, we can spend a bit more time on the sort of fruity natures of it.
Yeah, I get that, man. I get that.
I can spend time on that delay.
So if roughly the other album sounds like about 1978,
Okay.
I think
And
we'll probably
where
go to
would you
about-
place the first album? In
Probably about 77, 78.
77.
Possibly.
Yeah. When was Rumours? Rumours 77.
It's always earlier than I think.
I thought it was 76, but
76.
maybe I'm wrong. I'm not.
Let's go with The Stranger.
I feel like 77. Stranger's 77.
We'll go with 77.
Okay.
Okay.
First album 77. Second album
Asia's 77.
Okay, Asia 77. And then we say second album. I mean, because of that sweet, sweet drum machine I've got now.
I feel like maybe you're a little bit further ahead than 78 with that. With the,
Oh, definitely. I think it's
yeah.
maybe like at least 83.
Are we going to be featuring?
Thank you. I mean, I'm a bit. So
Oh, you
Brad,
were right.
We were.
Ah.
No, Brad was kind of right though, because I guess it was being made in 1976. So
Yeah. Okay. Is the? I was going to say, is the 808 going to be heavily featured?
We don't know. That's just something I've wanted to buy for ages.
I liked it, man.
And
that's that thing of there is a new toy.
Where
can we use it?
Yeah. I liked it, man.
I only got it last week, so I've been messing about with it. So it's been really fun.
Yeah.
Shout out to Behringer's aggressive assault on the synth drum machine market.
I've got to say this.
They've got a place around the corner from here, haven't they?
Haven't they? I did not know that. What Baron should do?
So I think this isn't a lie. So I don't know whether
Let's
you
find
could
out.
Google
I'm looking at the
because
computer screen.
I know, but this might be insider knowledge. But
Right.
no, I
what is
don't mean that I've got like second or third hand. As I understand it, there's a place somewhere in Manchester.
Yeah.
Let's not narrow it down so it doesn't get like turned over. But there's a place in Manchester where Behringer have been reverse engineering. They've bought up all of these classic things, reverse engineered them in order to make their version of them. But I think that's been happening in Manchester,
No way.
which is pretty cool.
That is
That
cool.
is pretty cool.
That's really cool. Because I also own the Poly D that's made by them.
What's the Poly D?
So
What
it's
is
like
that?
Moog Model D, but
Yeah.
it's got four voices. It's got four. So but you can separate the oscillators to be different things. So it's not really quite polyphonic. It's paraphonic.
Paraphonic.
But it's still like it's got like cool settings where you can have all four oscillators on one note,
yeah.
or you can have unison where it's two oscillators to a note, or where it's sort of poly where it's like each oscillator is a different note. But it sounds incredible. And sorry, I was on a gig.
Going super niche here.
I was on a gig the other day, and they noticed how much Behringer stuff I had, and I realised, and they were just, and it was
Like 10 or 15 years ago.
They get a bad rep.
And that's what we're trying to do. So,
but
and also give us stuff, please.
Yeah, they get a sweet
I'm not even
sponsorship.
going for that. I'm just going for like, I think it's because I use all their stuff for like bar gigs because it's like I don't care if it breaks.
It's cheap. Yeah, that's fair, man. I get
just
that.
just like overheads and like a monitor. It's like it's all Behringer. If anything, they were surprised that I then had a Hercules guitar stand. You were like, oh, somebody's getting a bit fancy.
You guys kind of come across to me as like, I'm going to say this, and please don't be offended, like gearheads, like in a way. Would that be right in saying that?
He is more than me.
Okay. There's nothing wrong with being a gearhead.
There is nothing wrong. I don't want to claim to be more than I am.
James?
Well, yeah, I do spend like hours on YouTube looking at stuff.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, and before I buy something, I'll watch at least probably about like 10 hours worth of YouTube on that one thing just to make sure that I'm getting the thing that I want.
Yeah, that's fair, man.
I hesitate because I've been around people that really are. I did a show a few years ago, this thing called the Classic Rock Show.
Right.
And it was quite a high level of production. It's like a tribute show, jukebox thing.
Okay.
Touring theatres, and it was a quite high level of production.
Yeah.
With 2 or 3 guitarists, a couple of guitar techs, and there were like 20 guitars on the tour.
Yeah.
And like some of those lads,
yeah.
they know guitar gear.
Yeah.
And I thought I knew a bit about guitars. It was like, oh, I learnt a lot doing that.
Right.
That's the real deal, yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm not like into the whole like what's your guitar made out of and what electronics you've got inside of it. I'm like, I know what a Telecaster sounds like, and I know what it'll sound like if I put it through these pedals and that amp. That it's more that kind of. I'm not like to the nuts and bolts of it.
That's fair.
I'm like, I know what a thing sounds like and what it does, but I'm not really bothered about how. But
as long as we get
as long as I know how to use it and how to work it.
Yeah, that's fair, man.
Convinced me with that fascinating synthesizer segment. So.
Oh God, I'm dull.
You're
no,
not.
no. The thing is, James, like this. This is our audience. Like a lot of our audience.
No, the thing is, though, I talk to my girlfriend about this sort of stuff, and she pretends to give a shit. She doesn't.
That's nice of us to do that, though, isn't it?
You know, she's really kind about it. When I was talking to her about my new drum machine. Fucking hell. She doesn't care. You know what? There was the day I got my Polly D. She came home and I was just in my little room where I've got all my stuff, just messing about in this synth, going like, "Oh, what a fucking day!" She comes in, she goes, "James, there's a bird in the front room." So I'd left the window open in the front room of the flat, and there was just a bird in it. And she got home and goes like, "I don't know what the fuck's going on." There's me on this new synth, and there's just a bird in the front room. Then it's just like, and then she was like, "There's a bird." I'm like, "What?" With my headphones, like, "Oh god, what? There's a bird in the front room." I was just like, "Yeah, they're right. Yeah, there is, love." And then she's like, "No, James, there's a bird in the front room." And then we had to go and get rid of it. Yeah, it was just a bit,
just like a really DIY Stranger Things.
Yeah.
It was just yeah. Yeah.
What bird was it, out of interest?
I don't know. It looked like a nuthatch. I'm not.
What?
I won't be quoted on that.
I don't even know what that is. No, I'm not a hatch.
Can we get a nuthatch up on the screen?
Yeah, let's pull that up. That's hilarious. I was actually going to ask you to, just a little, obviously, because, you grew up together. Do you come from, a musical family? And, was that sort of thing, well, what was it like in the house growing up?
Our parents say no.
Okay.
Because neither of our parents were professional musicians.
Dad's really musical, though.
So's Mum. They both played musical instruments as kids.
Okay, right.
And Dad always did it as a hobby. But they were really good sports people. So, sort of county and national level. Like, Mum played netball for England.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Wow.
That's quite an exotic bird.
Beautiful.
That's a lovely bird.
I think it had a bit of blue in it as well. I'm not sure.
That's a nice bird, though.
Might have been a baby jay. I'm not sure. Anyway, sorry, we'll go back to
that's okay. And Dad's a great athlete. So they met through their love of sport.
Right, okay.
But that's relevant, I think, because they were, it makes them sound really mean to say they were disciplined, but they just had a certain set of values that were really useful for learning music, which would have been useful if we'd wanted to go into sport or any other kind of pursuit like that, which was basically, if you're going to have the lessons, you need to practice regularly. And I think I'm probably not as naturally musical as James is, but I was being the oldest. I was just quite compliant as a kid, and I was like, right, well, I better do my however many minutes practice a day.
Okay.
And then you get better, and then it becomes a joy, and then you're into it. And I think that was down to that.
Fair.
So I think it was, and also we were just fortunate that we're pretty privileged, not posh exactly, but pretty privileged. They could buy us stuff, and we went to a school where music was considered important, had a school band that did gigs of pop music. Yeah, you wanted to be in that band.
Okay, yeah.
And
we went on school band trips at the end of the year.
And there's some great music teachers as well.
That always helps, man.
So Kevin Tout and Tim Jones at the Catholic High School in Chester, where we both went to school. Really great inspirational teachers. And we had an amazing guitar teacher called John Harper,
right?
Who's based on the Wirral, who was like a Liverpool session guy of old, and also a studio arranger. He taught loads of people at Salford. He taught loads of people that now teach at Salford. I think he taught loads of people that taught people that now teach at Salford.
Yeah.
John was amazing.
Yeah, he was totally class.
And before that, we had a teacher called Ronnie Dorber as well, who kind of taught us music theory and stuff. So it's like these people are really, really fundamental in that.
Yeah.
And just a supportive background. But our sister is in performance as well. She's she's a great singer, dancer, actor. She's a musical theatre performer.
Oh, nice. Right.
So we all do the thing.
Do the thing.
She does the thing pretty well, actually.
And
she's the talented one.
Oh, really? So who's the second most talented one?
I'd say James.
I'd say Alex.
Oh, that's so nice. That's lovely.
Well, let's not fight about that.
No, be nice to each other. That sounds good.
Fran,
we just both agree she's the best one.
Fran's, because I think Fran, if she wasn't also an amazing dancer, if she hadn't have done that, she'd probably be a muso as well, I reckon. because she was like,
right, okay.
Yeah, she took to instruments really.
Yeah, really easily. Like, she's a great sax player, but she was also an incredible dancer. So now she's like on the West End and that, doing that. So
fair, man. Nice.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you as well. So obviously, we talked about The Boss and other such artists. Was there any sort of music that you guys kind of? Because obviously, it seems like that came from your parents' influence, whatever. Was there like any music that was like I'd like to describe it as like a teenage tearaway, like the thing that you sort of like, you start with your parents' music and then you're like, this is my thing.
This is going to be divergent.
There's always there's one thing now that I find really funny, which was when I was 12, I got Nevermind by Nirvana.
Nice.
For like one Christmas on CD, and Alex thought it was a load of shit.
Oh,
yeah,
Alex.
yeah.
Alex thought it was a whole load of shit. But then when Alex went writing Alex's PhD, and he was going back listening to loads of albums, I got a text from you saying, "How good is Nevermind, an album?" And I was like so angry.
You bastard.
To be fair, there was a period of growth between those 20 years.
Considerable amount of time.
I would say, but I don't know.
You did the rock thing. You were into
like rock and indie.
Loud rock music, and
like I say from my dad. One thing that I think that I got more than you was like the Police, the Jam, the Clash. They were like stuff from my dad that I was like really into as a teenager.
Right. Okay.
And still really into, but
yeah, I mean, I liked that stuff, but I kind of decided I liked jazz, which is like I think most teenagers that think they want to be a jazz musician like the music, but they also like the idea of. I think there's some ego involved. I think they like the idea of this kind of myth that they've created of like what it would be to be a jazz musician. They're also kind of quite interested in maybe a different era or a different time. They also like the idea that they're into something that not everybody else is into. It's quite the exclusivity of it and the kind of specialness of it, which then when you go meet other people that are into jazz, they confirm that for you. Because they go, oh, none of our other mates get this. And I still love jazz music. I just think that element of it isn't very helpful.
Yes, I agree.
To the continuation of that music. Also, it's a confused art form because this whole thing of like modern jazz, it can be confused sometimes because I think it's really great to play jazz in its kind of recognizable form as a historical music in the same way that you might play classic rock as a historical music.
Yes.
And then there's the kind of thing that sort of South London jazz. I think it's unhelpful that they both have the same name. Yeah, I don't know what the solution is. I don't know what the better name is. But do you know what I mean? Anyway, that's a tangent. But I think I quite like the idea of it just being a bit different, which in some ways is kind of punk, but not when
you were not punk.
Not when what you're doing is listening to like
Coltrane,
Mel Torme.
You're right. Yeah.
I was like, check out this vocal harmony group from the 1940s.
Yeah.
While my mates were going to watch the Arctic Monkeys. And like I didn't go and watch that first Arctic Monkeys tour. Like I didn't take the offer. But I really at that time I didn't like it.
Yeah.
Because it sounded messy to me. Which was completely missing the point. I wanted everything to sound like Earth, Wind and Fire.
Right.
I wanted it all to be like
clean and tight
and funky and and if it wasn't that, if you didn't have like a horn section in it, which is totally, I now realise is totally must have been to do with some kind of hierarchical notion I had because I was also really into soul music from the 60s, which is totally messy.
Yeah. In
the same way that like the Arctic Monkeys' first record is kind of messy and brilliant and real and organic and authentic. And it's just a real regret of mine that I wasn't onto that because not only could I have enjoyed that music, but I'd have enjoyed being part of what everyone else was into.
Yeah.
I thought it was cleverer to be into something different. And it's just that's not what it's about, is it?
I remember you quite like the Ordinary Boys because they had a horn section on the records. I remember that being like one of like the big factors for it.
I suppose that's what drew me in. And I did want to go to gigs that my mates were into as well. But like, I don't know. It's like the older I got, the more liberal I am music, and that happened quite quickly over the course of like my early 20s. I had a bit of an epiphany,
right,
at about the age of 21, that I was like, oh god, I've had it wrong about how this should all work.
So you sort of split off to the jazz world for a while. Where did you go, James?
How I went to Goldsmiths. Which I went there because I applied to a bunch of like music colleges,
right?
And I kind of got into a couple, but I went to Goldsmiths on the audition day, and I had so much fun there. It was the audition was like process was so creative and so much fun, and also I like the idea of going somewhere where there were also non-music students.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Like
I get that.
I like more the idea of going to a sort of university sort of style campus, but I don't think I really knew what I was getting in for when I went there. I didn't realize the kind of history of it and how it's pretty left field in terms of, you know, the art department and things like that. And the music course was run by this guy called Simon Deacon, and it was really a bit of a shock when you've lived as a sort of sheltered middle class kid from Chester in the northwest, and then you're kind of opened up to a lot of different things. But it opened my eyes to a lot of stuff. Also, at the same time, it completely made me change the way I looked at music in many ways. And there's so much from that course that I'm really thankful for. But also, to a certain degree, I think I kind of, while I was there, I was also pushed into a way of thinking which I've kind of had to then grow out of a bit.
Yeah.
Because it was a bit too, like, everything had to be, like, super cool and, like, really super tasteful. And after a while, sometimes you make music like that and it's just dull.
Yeah, because it's not real. It's not genuine, is it?
That's a really
and that's
like
why
there's no risk.
And that's why then, sort of at the end of it, because I'm sorry, I brought it back round to Springsteen.
You can't stop yourself.
After like years of like and kind of a lot of the music that we were sort of making and playing, and it's all a bit sort of depressed, like big, like huge, like the albums to listen to on my course were like OK Computer was sort of considered gospel, as well as like Spirit of Eden by Talk and sort of Jeff Buckley, Grace. That was, you know, it was always kind of like a Goldsmiths party. If you could put on Radiohead and the Smiths, you were usually safe.
Yeah.
What about Whitney Houston's second album?
No, somebody would probably turn it off and put on some minimal German techno or something like that. And just take loads of drugs.
It's so funny, man. Like, because I had the same experience, like going to the RNCM and stuff. It's just like you get caught up in that sort of cool. I listen to this cool music vibe.
The thing it might have been different music.
Yeah, but it's the same.
But it's still, and also it's really difficult because you've got to get all these young people together to meet each other to create a music scene. And you know, I kind of look at a lot of the people that have come on here and the kind of community of musicians that I see around Manchester. That's definitely a really good outcome of that. But there are certain phenomena that are going to happen then. Like these weird little hierarchies. And if you can see it from the outside, you kind of want to be able to say to people, well, you do say to people, that doesn't matter. But it does. It's something that you've kind of got to experience. Yeah,
I think you've got to go through the cycle. I feel like everyone that I know that's gone to music college has gone through that cycle of like, or for me anyway, it was like sort of, you know, listen to the cool music, and it's like sort of like this complexity thing that you're going about, like, oh, it's got to be a certain way and whatever, and then eventually everyone comes back home. Do you know what I mean? They're like, oh fuck, right, this is what I was doing music for. Like, you know, it doesn't have to be this certain way. You learn all the things, you go through the brushes, and then you come back and be like, actually, this is what I want to do.
Yeah,
I wonder if it's a bit of a British thing as well.
Maybe, yeah.
Whether it's kind of, there's a bit of this thing of like you were saying, it's almost like the driving factor is not getting it wrong.
Yes.
Not doing the wrong thing. Like the worst thing that could happen is someone say, I don't like it, or that's a bit lame. But what ends up happening then is that everything's so safe or the same that it's pointless. I don't know. I wonder whether maybe it's just being young. I don't know.
There could be that as well, man. You want to try.
You just really want a situation where someone turns up, and occasionally these mavericks do, and they just go, I don't know. Actually, to be fair, I name check her all the time, but who was an amazing student for that was Lucy Deakin.
Okay.
Laser focus, and like she came into the RNCM.
Yeah.
And was like, about halfway through her first year, came to me. She was like, I'm a bit confused because I thought this was a pop course.
Right.
And no one wants to play the music that I like, which is, I'm not being funny, it's definitely pop music.
Yeah.
She's like, everyone's talking to me like I don't know what's going on. I'm paraphrasing.
Yeah, of course.
But we've had this conversation before. And she was like, she was the expert in pop music in that group of people. Now, they were all brilliant musicians, what they're into, but in terms of mainstream pop music and also what is going to appeal to a mainstream pop audience, and now she's kind of a pop star. It's sort of, but that wasn't by accident.
No,
that wasn't a fluke. Like, and you know, gradually she's got a great writing team with Carl and with the other people that they work with now. But like a great example of someone who actually had an identity
and then just stuck with it.
But that wasn't it wasn't created.
Yeah.
She really
it's
loved
genuine.
that, and then she's making this music that and that's the hardest thing, I think, to be doing a thing that has mainstream appeal but also comes across as authentic and kind of personal.
That's the secret, man.
Yeah.
Fuck knows how you
but
do
I don't know how, yeah
Fuck knows, bud.
Fuck knows.
Yeah. Right, chaps. I've got one more question for the both of you before we wrap this bad boy up. If you could sum this podcast up in 3 words, what would
this one?
This particular podcast that we have just done, what would it be? Who wants to go first? I mean, I can go first if that would make you feel...
You go first.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to say all the boss. All the boss.
All the boss. Ah, man. I've just got Springsteen.
That was 4
And
words.
I think we'll have to go to our songwriting technique of I've come up with the initial idea. Springsteen, you come up with the other 2.
Is good.
Yep.
Right, so that's for the both of you. Springsteen is good. That's fine. I'll take that one. I will take that.
Oh.
Amazing.
All right.
Well done, guys. Well done. One more time for the people at home where they can find your stuff online. Tell them in the sweet camera over here where they can find it.
Please go and check out the Dee Brothers album Without the Light on Spotify and follow us on @the_Dee_Brothers on Instagram.
Boom. Thank you very much, chaps. It's been an absolute bloody pleasure.
It's been great. Thank you very much. Thanks for having us.
It's good. And I look forward to hearing the new album whenever it materialises.
Coming to you soon in about 2030.
Amazing. I hope you people at home have enjoyed this episode. What camera are we on? We're still on this one. There we go. I hope you've enjoyed the episode. Go and check out the Dee Brothers on Instagram. They will be doing some more things. Check out their live session, which will be coming out on Friday. And for fuck's sake, please just subscribe to us on YouTube. Just do it.
Why haven't you already?
Exactly. We'd put out so much good stuff. Next week, we're doing our mental health week. There's going to be loads of great music and talking to different mental health experts. It's going to be wonderful. Subscribe to us, please. And then, of course, all these episodes are going to be available on all good podcasting apps so you can listen on the go. That is all I have to say. And we will see you next week for our mental health week special. Thank you to James and Alex for coming on today. Thank you to George and James in the back. Woo! And thank you very much to me. So I'll see you all next week. Goodbye.
Brad.
Thank you for listening. Be sure to subscribe to the podcast to catch up on new episodes every week. Also, check us out on our Facebook and Instagram at Rec Rooms, where you can find out about our other exciting music series. We also have this and all our other episodes of the podcast up on our Rec Rooms YouTube channel for your viewing pleasure. See you next time.